the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial represent for the mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Ras Tafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Ras Tafari.
After I left Campion in fifth form, I went to pre-university. And before pre-university, I went to a private school for a year. And during that time, I was a part of the fundraising committee that year for some programming. And the principal, they usually do a barbecue. And I said to her, it's kind of boring. Why don't we do something more interesting? Some kind of random show, I'm sure the parents would come out. And she's like, no, we do barbecues. It's safe. And whatever she said. And I was just like, well, with all due respect, I am the head of the fundraising committee. So I think that this would be really empowering for the students, whatever it is. And she said, no, it's not going to work. And I said, okay, cool. Watch this. And I was like 17 at that time. And I wrote a play. I directed, starred, and produced a play named Punchinella, a Jamaican Cinderella.
Wow.
And it was my first time recognizing that I had a talent to do not just one thing, but multiple things at the same time, So not only was I acting and writing, but I was producing the entire thing. And it was good practice. And it came out of rebellion, because she told me no, I was just like, don't say no. Don't say no.
The year is 1892. And the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabe is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Lich Tafari's father, Ras Tafari, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Tafari is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Tafari knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Lich Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting, and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
So, that's just the housekeeping, we start these lives. We have to touch base with the audience and make ones know what go on, because we are a family. You know what I mean? We are one family. And I feel the same way about I guess. I was reasoning with her right before we went live and realized it's coming up almost on 2 decades since I've known this sister. She attended Howard University, my alma mater. We met in that days. I was no longer there. She was there. You know what I mean? We, I've had the honor and the privilege to interact over the years, and she was one of the calls that I made when the Association of Ras Tafari creatives went from thought to manifestation. She was one of the early calls. She's one of the founding members of the Association of Ras Tafari creatives. She's a filmmaker. She's an actress, a very good one. She's a screenwriter. She have so many accolades. She can sing too. I don't even know if she touched them thing there again, but she can sing too. Granddaughter, the legendary and iconic Bob and Rita Marley. Lion Pride family, please help I to welcome Sister Donisha Prendergast. And sister, royal greetings.
Greetings.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. You age me. Really? You're aging us there now. A lot of people still think that I'm in my 20s,
Aile, you see? I'm telling you, and you look like you're in your 20s, so whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? You're doing the right thing, and we have to celebrate that.
Right, it's true. We have to give thanks, just continue smile. Smile a lot, meditate deeply, but, joy is also the rebellion. That's what I've been telling people.
Zion, you have to light like a feather for you enter. Don't feel like just because you touch the physical soil of Africa that you enter into the holy gates. The gates is physical and metaphysical, So, all right. This is Lion Talk Live. I don't, because I'm very comfortable with my sister. Talk to us about who you are, where you were born, and your journey to Rastafari. You made a film about it. It was so powerful, but just for those who are not familiar, just introduce yourself. We're going to step into the Lion Talk Live time machine, and you just give us that experience of who the I is from manifestation.
Wow, so that's a long conversation there. It's a long reasoning. I feel like I've lived so many different lives, I grew up in Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica, born in Kingston, Jamaica. Moved both my parents. I don't know where exactly do I start with this conversation. I'm the eldest of four with both of my parents, and then my parents separated, divorced, and I have 2 other younger sisters.
And just let them know who your mother is and your father, because they are also notable Africans.
Absolutely. My father's name is Rita Prendergast. He's an international FIFA referee, retired international FIFA referee, but he is best known as the first FIFA referee from Jamaica to represent at the World Cup. Right now, he trains a lot of the referees and other officiants that play at during the World Cup. My mom is an educator. She's best known for being a part of Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers. Her name is Sharon Marley. She's also an educator, an activist in her own right. She's also a doula, midwifery, that kind of thing. And she's also the eldest of her generation. So hear that. So I grew up in Jamaica. I went to one of the best high schools in Jamaica. Shout out Campion. I know them usually.
Another Campion night. I have so many Campion nights on this program, I tell you.
Well, I mean, excellence, what can we say? Excellence. Yeah. Yeah, no, them usually say Campionites are stush, but I never considered myself to be one of the stush kind. You know, I was always the rebellious one in the pagodas, having reasonings about what was going on in the world. You know what I mean? Um, after I left Campion in fifth form, I went to pre-university, and before pre-university, I went to a private school for a year, and during that time, I was a part of the fundraising committee that year for some programming, and the principal, they usually do a barbecue, and I said to her, you know, it's kind of boring, why don't we do something more interesting, some kind of random show, you know, I'm sure the parents would come out. And she's like, no, we do barbecues, it's safe, and whatever she said. And I was just like, well, with all due respect, I am the head of the fundraising committee, so I think that this would be really empowering for the students, whatever it is. And she said, no, it's not going to work. And I said, okay, cool. Watch this. And I was like 17 at that time. And I wrote a play. I wrote, directed, starred, and produced a play named Punchinella, a Jamaican Cinderella.
Wow.
And it was my first time recognizing that I had a talent to do not just one thing, but multiple things at the same time, you know? So not only was I acting and writing, but I was producing the entire thing. And it was good practice. And it came out of rebellion, you know, because she told me no, I was just like, don't say no. Don't say no. But after that, I shared time with another actress. It's like over 20 years ago, so now I'm really trying to remember this story. But I went to do my nails.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to get a pedicure, and a local actress was there, and I was really excited to talk to her and, you know, tell her about this thing that I just did. And she was just like, well, why don't you go and try out for a play? I was just like, oh. She's like, yeah, they have auditions going now. You can go to center stage. I was like, okay. And I did. I went, I left after school, left school early, went audition, and never thought much about it. And a few weeks later, they called me to tell me that I got the part. And I was just like, wow, okay. But rehearsals are during the day and I have school. So I'm just like, no, okay, how am I going to rock this now? All right. And for like 3 weeks, I left school early to go rehearse. And I didn't tell my parents. And I didn't tell my parents until it was about to come out in the newspaper that I was starring in a new play named Puppy Love. And, you know, at this point, they were just like, okay, well, we have no options. Like, you sign a contract. Are you even 18 yet? Is this even legal? But my mother was just like, all right, you know what, I'm going to support. And that play ran for 2 years straight. Wow. Okay. And it was my first introduction to storytelling, storytelling live, working with other artists and understanding how art is really created. And growing up, I wanted to be a psychologist. So I kind of look at the work that I do right now, kind of like that too, you know, trying to understand people, trying to create space for healing, trying to create safe spaces for, you know, emotionally intelligent conversations. Yeah, so that's like, where am I now? I'm up to like about 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. Well, Haile Selassie the first is the Almighty, and this is the Chasmach Kwasi. Well, let's face it, the situation on earth shows us that we have to return to the basics. The relationship between the man and the woman, tell me what else going to replace it. Well, enough of them get a chance at true love and waste it. If there's a chance for love, then let us make it. Well, then I've been waiting for the right time. That's why I'm always on the grind. I've been thinking about you at night time. Rock woman, you're always on my mind. I pray the Almighty make my light shine, so maybe one day you'll be mine. And together when our energies combine, we'll create life, we're so divine. Yo, I know life is never hopeless. I know that she know that he know. She noticed that he focus on how to be her man. See her in the dance, realize he need a plan. Eye contact, she look at him, he look back. He bust a two-step to show him soul intact. He start sweat, he dancing as he approach. She smile when she see him start dance close. She turn her back, then she wind down low. He follow like a whining pro. Her body show how she want things. We got them both smile when she start whine slow. Hey yo, then I've been waiting for the right time. That's why I'm always on the grind. I've been thinking about you at night time. Black woman, you're always on my mind. I pray the Almighty make my light shine, so maybe one day you'll be mine. And together when our energies combine, we'll create life, we're so divine. Yo, check out the situation. We was together since before the plantation. Complication, they put us on some ships. Used to hold her close, almost lost my grip. Got caught in a holocaust, tried to resist. I had to endure the dogs and the chains and the whips. And now they study your hips, they copy your lips. And then they try kill your sons. They don't want us to exist, they don't want us to be rich, much less to own wealth. They dug a ditch, Babylon, they made us kill ourselves. It's time to build ourselves, cause the way they live now is pathetic, and our destiny is prophetic. Ras Tafari said it, the word made flesh. Africa await our prince and princess. Have to tell you straight to me, I show interest when me see how you are gonna whine in a your long dress. And me hear you DNA, them say it are the strongest. And them call your mother earth, cause you they are the longest. Now you in a Babylon, them treat you like a conquest. I take you to the motherland and treat you like a empress, yes.